You're listening to the Health Powered Productivity Podcast by RaderCo. I'm Marcey Rader, founder and chief productivity lead. This podcast aims to give you and your team bite-sized, time-saving, focus-boosting, health-improving tips you can implement immediately. Now, on with the show. According to Gallup's StrengthsFinder, which is an amazing assessment, if you've never done it, I highly recommend it. Discipline is one of my top 5 strengths. I feel very fortunate for that. Add in my type A tendencies, which I consider type awesome, and you could say I am a lover of routines and habits. However, I want to put the spotlight on 2 different groups of people that we work with and talk about how discipline fits in their world. First, we have the high achievers. They are drowning in busy. Many of our clients at RaderCo are high-flying professionals who've mastered the art of doing. They are not lacking in motivation. They are drowning in responsibilities and tasks. The paradox: they're so swamped that even though they want to form new habits, be it exercising or meditation, they can't see past the urgent to get to the important. They often fall victim to time discounting, which is the belief that their future selves can juggle all the tasks, attend their kids' recital, earn a PhD, all while making dinner from scratch. And they suffer from tunneling, where their brains are so overwhelmed and they're multitasking so much they have extreme decision fatigue. This fatigue makes us resort to status quo decisions and procrastination. So the game changer is habit stacking tailored to their packed schedules. They are more likely to be amenable to routines, systems, and processes. They know that they can help them. They just aren't always sure how to implement them. But when they do, big wins, big. Efficiency, purpose restored. Then we have the second group, the creatives, my rebels with a cause. These are artists who cringe at the idea of a timetable as if it were kryptonite to their creativity. Take Lisa Wood. Lisa is our RaderCo concierge and the genius behind any of our marketing. And she's also a multi-talented artist and accomplished jazz singer. And when I say multi-talented, painting, sculpture, cooking, crafts, sewing, and then she sings and writes, and she's just, my husband and I say she's not fair. But Lisa used to stay up all night working on projects, thinking that the lack of a schedule allowed her to be free. Her husband, who is also an artist and creative, shared that schedules could improve her day-to-day life, including her artistic endeavors, and she would feel better and have more energy with her family. When her daughter was a baby, he had a discussion with her and said, that her late nights had an opportunity cost of being tired during the day for her baby and him, or she was cramming for deadlines and causing micro stressors in the household. Gut punch. He also helped her with her workstation. She thought that her clutter around her desk and art projects were inspiring, or that she needed to leave everything out and see it at once. And after she cleaned it up with a place for everything, or at least had corrals, she realized how free she felt and could organize her creative thoughts better. And she wasn't distracted by all the things on her desk. She had a focused creativity, and she made fewer mistakes with materials, because before, when it was all cluttered, she would get paint on items that weren't supposed to have paint on them, or things would get knocked over and there'd be glue places. And now this wasn't happening. I interviewed my friend George Hage several years ago. He is a jack of all arts as well, and he is a musician, singer, songwriter, graphic designer, artist, who is also a project manager, and he has a master's degree in project management. And he said to me that has helped him escape that starving artist, very disorganized stereotype that a lot of artists have. And he has to have some routines for his regular project management job. his daily job. My husband is also a creative. He's played drums since he was 7, went to college for percussion, and has taught and performed professionally for 36 years. He is the first person to say he likes and needs a routine. His morning routine is not to be interrupted. I see this with many people, no matter what their personality type. How many times have you taken a day or a week off with big plans, but because you want to be completely unscheduled, you reach the end of your day or your week or even your 3-month sabbatical and realize that you just frittered it away and didn't make use of your time? I have a friend who is getting ready to take a 3-month sabbatical. And at first she thought, I'm just going to, I don't want any schedules. I don't want, I just want my days to be free, because she has lived her life, in meeting hell for the last year. And I warned her that if she did that, she might not get any of the things done she wanted to do. She wouldn't declutter her house. She wouldn't start her exercise program. She wouldn't, read, these books for fun, because when we don't have any kind of goal or task or something to break it up and create bookends around those things, we are less likely to achieve it. And my friend Paul always says, if you want something done, give it to a busy person. You don't have to make yourself busy and schedule out your day, your whole day, but you do need to have some bookends. I have an unexpected advocate, if you're not convinced. And I'm dropping the name Rick Rubin. Yes, the Rick Rubin, legendary music producer and a surprising advocate for disciplined living. And if you don't think somebody in the creatives can be disciplined, check out his book and read about his lifestyle. This guy is impressive. And in his book, Creative Act, which is so good that I highlighted so many pages in my Kindle that they wouldn't even let me export it, and said that I basically broke the note taking. I took more notes than I was allowed. That's how good it is. So go out and get it. But in his book, he eloquently busts the myth that discipline and creativity are at odds. Direct quote from his book: "The more set in your personal regimen, the more freedom you have within that structure to express yourself. Discipline and freedom seem like opposites. In reality, they are partners. Discipline is not a lack of freedom. It is a harmonious relationship with time. Approaching the practical aspects of your day with military precision allows the artistic windows to be opened." And, I have read that quote probably 7 or 8 times. And just now, reading for this podcast, it actually made me think a little bit of Lisa and I. Lisa is the woman I referred to earlier in the podcast, my RaderCo right hand. And we are very different on these strengths finders. We are very complementary. And, we have different strengths as skills. We're complementary, and that we have a harmonious relationship. It's just, I never thought about that before. That's a little mic drop for me. So if we think about turning routine into creative rocket fuel, setting up some kind of schedule or routine in just even specific areas of your life can paradoxically free you to be more creative. A morning jog, or a morning movement routine, or a bit of journaling, or something that you do that can pump your system full of endorphins or spark fresh ideas. Preparing you to paint your next masterpiece, or compose your next hit, or solve that bottleneck. Discipline isn't about constraining your creativity, but setting the stage for it to flourish. So let's end with a challenge. What routine can you establish to supercharge your creativity? Your future self just may thank you. Thank you for listening to the RaderCo Health Powered Productivity Podcast. The resources mentioned are linked in the show notes. If you found this podcast valuable, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone you know who could benefit. For more bite-sized tips, our top recommendations, and to learn more about working with myself and the RaderCo team, from consulting and coaching to speaking and more, visit helloraderco.com.